Sons of Anarchy? We're going to spend the next hour talking about that show with some of the most incredible actors that you've seen on network television. Let's welcome them to the stage. Please welcome David Labrava. Boone Jr. Boone, yeah, that's you, Boone. You coming? Come on. Okay, you guys, welcome. Sons, there has never been a show like it on television. Am I right, guys? It's incredible, and I kind of want to know, starting off, show's now been off the air 2 years. What do you think is still resonating with all the fans and with you guys, you know, about the material and why is it still so popular?
What's resonating with us right now is that Kim Coates just left to get on a flight.
I know.
And we can still smell him. He's resonating. Right now.
He wears a lot of cologne.
Canadian musk. I don't know. I think you said it perfect. There was never a show like it that's ever been done. I mean, Boone can speak to this more than anybody because he was there. What people don't know, in the process before like anyone was there. Both of these guys. Not before anyone. DL and Boone. I mean, they're a whole different thing. And I think what, for me, the coolest thing is that no one thought it would work. No one thought anybody cared about it. And then now here we are.
For me, the coolest thing was, what resonates is to meet these dudes and end up staying unbelievable friends with them all these years later. Like, whoa, to truly care and love them. And yeah, for sure, it was like imagine me, you all know, I'm sitting in shop trying to get a thing, and these guys are practicing a craft and killing it. And I got up to a show, just like he said, that nobody thought would work, and just go through the whole little thing. Absolutely the most special show that ever was.
Well, and definitely, she agrees. David, you came on technical advisor.
Yeah, I was hired as a technical advisor on the show.
And then you worked your way in front of the camera, and then you worked your way into, more than acting or advising. So tell us kind of about your journey and how that evolved.
So in a real nutshell, years before I was a cameraman for Zalman King Richard Diaries. I put that down. Everybody knows I went to join the club. I came back. That's how I became the tech advisor. So then I got dropped into a pool with 6 dudes that are, well, I don't know, acting ain't no trick. That's practicing a craft. So here's this real dude walking up, like checking them out, and they're practicing a craft. So thank God they said, let's help this dude do his thing, bro. Because they could have said, let's get rid of this guy, and I would have gone. Like I seen it, but what a cool little thing. Like, look at all the people we touch. It doesn't stop.
And I read somewhere, we never know if it's true, but did you have trepidation about taking on the character, or were you full in from the moment you read the script and the description?
When my agent, I said, so who's in the project? And they said, Tommy Flanagan, and I said, forget it, I'm not going. Because I knew Tommy for years before, and I was like, no, I'm not, no. I changed my mind after I read the script. No, I didn't have any trepidation about this. I had trepidation about television. I never had done, at that point, I had done just a few guest stars over, a long period, 30 years or something. I just never did any television. So the whole landscape of our business has changed so much. And it was about the time that we started doing Sons that really, the streaming began, and the whole actual way our business is put together has changed so much that I considered doing television. We're just about to go through a economic downturn. It's hard to make it. You can't make any money doing little movies anymore, and that's what I like to do. Small independent movies, first time director, writers and stuff. Like street level.
He killed it. He killed it. He kills everything, but he killed it.
I know, I do tend to smother things.
But I thought that was the brilliance of Sons for someone like me who was this like basically a TV actor. I was doing all these guest stars, all these co-stars, and when I walked onto that set, it was all these amazing film character actors. You know what I mean? You see Boone, and it's like right there it was kind of fresh off the whole Batman thing and all these kind of things that I was seeing, and then he's in literally everything. Curb Your Enthusiasm, you know, same TV shows, it was like all this stuff. But it was like, and then you see Tig, you know, I mean, he came in and it's like, oh, there's a dude from Waterworld, and then there was Hellboy, and it was like, and Flanagan with Gladiator and Braveheart. It was like, oh, this amazing ensemble of character actors that nobody would take it. Like, you know, to put it all together, I think that that's why the show is so extremely special.
And somehow when you watch the show, you don't pull out individual credits. You're not like, he's from this. And, you know, everybody blends so well as a cast and an ensemble, and it just works. Tell us about Juice and how you created that character and sort of the evolution.
It's kind of like the most unexpected thing in my life, that character, because the truth is, when I came onto that show, the first role I auditioned for was Jax. Obviously, not nearly doesn't look good enough to play that character. And then I read for a character that eventually got turned called Hawk, that was Emilio played, who was Scott Ryan's right-hand man. Yeah, and then I read for Half Sack, and then, I mean, I literally read for every character, and I didn't get any of them. And I was like, oh, this and when I read for it, it was called Forever Sam Crow. It wasn't even called Sons of Anarchy. And I was like so miserable that I knew I wasn't going to get it. And then one thing led to another, and they said, hey, listen, would you come on, and you're going to be a guest star the first year, and we don't know if you're going to be in one episode or all of them. And I came on. My character was actually called Franco in the pilot episode that we did, which was really different. I've never seen
Scott Glenn was Clay, not Ron Perlman.
Right? Did you see it?
No, they never showed that. We shot the pilot. Emilio was in the club.
Emilio was like
Sons of Anarchy. Scott Glenn was the Clay part, and then they reshot everything. And not pretty much everything. There's probably about, there wasn't a lot that Scott Glenn
the first pilot made. Nothing in the first pilot. The bomb stuff. The bomb stuff. Nothing of us acting. None of that.
Than that, there was stuff.
Oh, the Bobby Elvis stuff made it?
Yeah, there was
With Half Sack
stuff.
when he went on tour.
It was about 30%, I think.
So, point is, we do that, and then I'm playing this, kind of like, and I think that was the thing for us. We were all playing these characters that they were feeling out where they were going, and it was really like this comic relief type character. And then everything changed in season 4, and it was a chaotic, emotional roller coaster from then on out.
It was. And were you happy with the ending, your character?
I'm a huge fan of the show. I thought it was the greatest ending for a character. Like, for my character, I think every character got exactly what they deserved at the end. And
No.
Except, I was going to finish, except for maybe Bobby Elvis. The eye was a little over the top.
No, he did not deserve to die. He was the man. Hey, on that day he died, those are real tears on Pine Road.
I mean, you know what? Bobby was like the most even-tempered, and it
He
was so
was
hard.
the level of
He
the
was
thing.
the common,
Boone's the most even actor.
Yeah. And the eye thing, I don't know. That was painful.
It was unbelievable writing, unbelievable show, like definitely pushed. And everybody, like those writers, everybody experimenting. Like, I'm the tech advisor, and the first year I'm getting a script says, the carburation is messing with the fuel injection. I'm like, whoa, we gotta call these guys up. I'm like, nobody got that one. Whoa. But,
Nobody got it now,
no, I got it. Nobody got that. The carburation is messing with the fuel injection. I called the office right away. You gotta fix that.
Okay.
I think what Boone said, which is so cool, is that doesn't really happen. Is we came in, like he said, in the this is the golden age of television right now. Like like they said, Boone is the king of independent film, and like you can't do independent films right now. And then, but it's like with television now. When we first did this, television wasn't like it is now, and we're kind of The Sopranos was the real map.
The real deal.
Yeah, that was the map for this, and Oz, and then we came along and Walking Dead, and now it's like there's 430 something scripted television shows or something.
And they would be hard pressed to push the envelope and push it.
275 scripted television shows last year. So, and we, in the time that this started, that we did not get film actors doing a lot of television. Now everybody, that's all, there are no.
Everybody wants to do television. Number one best actors in the world now.
Yeah.
Television touches people.
In a way, television has become the new independent film a little bit. I mean, it's kind of usurped the independent film business, television. And that's, unfortunate, but true. If you guys have questions, line up at the mics in the aisles, and we will
Line it up.
And in the meantime, David, why don't you David, you have a film, right? Yeah?
You guys know I have a film out, right?
Let's talk about it.
Nobody knows I got a film out?
Well, they're about to, so.
I got a film out called Street Level. It started airing on the 8th, so that was 3 days ago. It's on 100% of the cable networks in America. These guys are my inspiration. This guy's got a film out too, Bad Hurt film. It's like Hollywood is relationships. And you meet people, and hopefully the words on the page are good enough, and people like you enough that they will come aboard your little project and try to make that happen. My film is a straight up collaborative effort between me, the cast, the crew of the Sons of Anarchy. Everybody helped me do that. It's 92 minutes long. It's what happened to me on the Lower East Side from 7 to 8:30 one morning about 26 years ago. I'm old. But yeah, you should definitely, Boone's in it, Robert Patrick, Danny Trejo, Dre DiMatteo, Louis McCall for Breaking Back, the Ernest Craig for The Walking Dead, I'm in it, Jennifer Michelle from 2.5 Men, Marilyn Manson, Sully from Godsmack. And all those people came aboard, just like he says, all those people came aboard because the words on the page moved them enough, and it's all art. Everything you do is art. From taking out the garbage to painting a painting is art. Every word spoken is art.
And
so
it's
if you're
told
a real artist and a filmmaker like these art, and a decent project comes along, you can bet these are people, they ain't looking for the paycheck, they're looking for a decent project. You know what I'm saying? They inspire me to, this case, especially, man, dude, like, this personal Buddha. This guy over here is like an inspiration. I'm like, Theo made a movie. What you mean Theo made a movie? Theo made a movie. I'm gonna make a movie too. Shit.
That's awesome. And where can people watch it?
You ready? It's on AT&T Uverse, Vubiquity, Amazon Instant Video, Google YouTube, Vudu, Xbox, Sony PlayStation, iTunes. You can get it now. It's those big ones. It's on demand. It's on Time Warner, Cox, Charter, Comcast. You go to movies, search by title, Street Level. It says Marilyn Manson, Labrava, Arthur Jr.
Nice. All right.
J-U-N-I-O-R, not J-R with a dot. Don't forget that either.
Street Level. Watch it. Hey, let's take our first question. How are you?
Hi, David, I love you, but my question is for Mark and Theo.
Big questions for these guys.
If your characters didn't die in the show, how do you think they would have reacted to the last episode with Jack's decision?
If our characters didn't die, how would we react to Jack's decision in the last episode?
I can't tell a lie. I didn't see the last episode. So I mean, when I was gone, I was gone.
I want to answer.
I mean, Bobby should never have gone. So so who knows what would have happened at that time if Bobby wasn't gone? So
It would have been different.
it would have been different.
I don't think Jax could have made that decision. It probably was enough.
Right, he would have made.
That's probably it. Juice, he wouldn't have said nothing. He would have been worrying for his life. And he would have
And he lost it somewhere.
he would have been absolutely not said a word. And he would have not thought about that because he would have been nervous that he was going to be killed every 14 seconds.
I want to say one thing. First of all, you know the Sons of Anarchy blog, and then there's community in Fat Bob. I'm Fat Bob. I wrote that for 7 years. So if you look at that, and just quickly, if you think about it, so here's a kid whose dad was in the club. And like, let's imagine it's a real club with real rules. Here's a kid whose dad was in the club, and he broke the rules, and the punishment was death. How easy could it have been to say, I don't want to play no more. Here's your jacket back. Ready? What he said? He said, this is what I live for. This is my trip. I broke the rules, and I'm gonna die.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, hey, how you doing?
Hey guys.
Hey!
So my question is, when you guys have a death on scene, what's something that goes through your head, like as far as a party or, you know, all the other shows like Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, they have like a send-off. Is there a send-off on some?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of them have made videos. There's been videos of, you know, of obviously OPs, and I think that with a lot of us, I think the difference between us and all those other shows is I've worked on a lot of TV shows, and I say this in the nicest way. A lot of people like pretend they're all super close and everybody hangs out all the time. That's not necessarily the case. With us, that was real. Everybody was, you know, we were down like 4 flats from the beginning to the end. You know what I mean? And you know, it was hard in the beginning. You know, Piney and certain people going. It was kind of like when it hit the core, when the first one hit, that was over. That was
Half set.
Oh, yes, half sack. But I'm saying, like, half sack went, and that was kind of like that whole thing. It was still early in the show. As we went on, I thought everybody was going to kind of be there until the end. Opie kind of went, and it was season 5. We still had a journey to go. So that was one where it was like, oh, okay. You know, this is, and then it was kind of when we went to that other side of the mountain, it was like we could all go at any time. And that's kind of what we thought.
That was the realization.
I know what he was saying.
Yeah, if Opie can go, we can all go. And that's kind of the way it went. And I don't know, I mean, you know, it's just, these guys, you know, we sit around for hours and hours at a time. These guys are together all the time. It's very different than any other TV show, I think, or any other.
But your question was, did we have parties for the dead?
Well, like, on other shows, they have like a send-off, like a nice send-off, but maybe they give you the cut with everybody's side.
We took those cuts.
Yeah, we got the cut, but yeah.
Tried to take it away.
When Joshua trade.
We did, yeah, for Opie, was that for Opie?
Opie, yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of us did that for Opie, but then later when
We had
everybody did start to go, there were, you know.
We had no time, man.
It was the end.
It was the end.
Opie was the biggest, baddest one. Like, the day Opie's gonna die, people that didn't work all showed up to, like, this is a big deal. Remember when we died? I got this, he got the thing. So the camera's like this, when the final one, the AD comes out, Opie, Ryan, weren't you guys talking? Like, I'm not working. He wanted us all to come in so he could look at us. So those were real tears, and we're all crying. And then when he died, bro, every person on the set, the food people, everybody came out, they clapped for like 20 minutes. Remember that shit? Beating walls.
But these guys were all there when I went, you know what I mean? And we were there when he went. It was like a different thing, but, you know, I still have my picture literally the day he's gone. It was me and him in my trailer, me, him, and Tig, you know, sitting in the trailer because, but again, I think the difference with Opie and not all of us, but us, it was the end. So there was like literally 2-3 episodes left. So we're running and gunning to get the season finished. With Opie, it was like, we did that and had time, you know. So it was again, Joshua Tree, hanging out, doing all these things. And really
Joshua Tree, climbing rocks, ripping walls.
I think Opie's best is one of the most like powerful scenes on television.
Yeah, because you don't see it coming.
He didn't just
And
say
in that line, like, I got this, it was crazy. Anyway, thank you for that question.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So-
Hi.
My question's for everybody. You sort of touched on this already. It doesn't seem like they're really movie stars anymore. It seems like some of the biggest stars are now doing TV commercials, even things that would have been taboo. I feel like that's got a lot to do with the fact that it just seems like they're not making a lot of good movies anymore. But my question is, the independent content that's coming out from Netflix, Amazon, HBO started it, but now everybody's doing it. How do you feel like that's going to change television? And do you think that has something to do with the quality of the work improving and more people wanting to do it?
The work will continually, always get better and better and better from artists. And the other answer is that's going to open the door to young independent filmmakers like the three you see right here. That's it.
I think the more opportunities. Listen, I can't say that they're not making any good films anymore, because I still watch a lot of good films. It just depends on where you find them. I mean, mainstream films are a lot bigger, you know, to generate and be in 3,000, 4,000 theaters, you gotta have giant movies, you know. The fact that there's no more movie stars, it's because there's so much content. You know, you got phones, you're watching stuff on your phones, you got reality television, you got YouTube Red, you have millions of movies, you have Instagram movies and Snapchat movies, you know, everybody's watching motion at all time. The reason why movies were so giant in the 70s and 80s was you had 4 channels and you had movies. You didn't have a personal computer in your pocket at all times to watch stuff.
No CGI.
And so you just, you know, that's why it seems so different. I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think it's just how you get your content right now.
But for the people making the movies and making the wanting to make television shows, first off, the material is determined by the story. So if you have a story that deserves 10 hours, then it should be given that 10 hours. And finally, everything is now just media. So if you come up with a story that needs like 6 hours, you can just do that, and because it never goes away. That's why in the beginning, and in this first question is why is it still resonating, is because it doesn't go away. You can still get Sons of Anarchy very easily. It used to be like, you saw a movie in a theater, you had to wait for the DVD to come out, and that might be like a long time, and it might be hard to find a DVD. Now, hopefully you can find the media that you actually want to look at. It's still, that is the question. How do you get your story out there at a place where people can see it or hear about it? So that, like street level, so that somebody will want to be able to see it. Because mostly it's an economic thing. The big people still control what you're seeing. So, and that's what the new situation hopefully has made it possible for a lot more people to see stuff, and your stuff, and our stuff, and
And the
hopefully
beauty,
it's good.
the beauty why the Reaper never dies, it's like the Batman symbol. The reason why the Reaper's always up there is because still to this day, we all see it on social media. You get like a new fan who's like, I just started Sons. You go to a different country, like they just started Sons. Like it's yesterday. You know what I mean? I still haven't seen certain shows that, I've never seen Breaking Bad. I've never seen shows like this that everybody says are great. And eventually maybe I'll watch them and not I'll feel the way the people who are watching them now. It never goes away. It wasn't like that when MASH and All in the Family and all that were on. You can't go binge watch All in the Family. Now you couldn't do it then. When it was off and you missed it. So that's why it's just really a whole new world. I think it's super exciting for filmmakers that people can literally do anything now. You can make a movie tomorrow on your phone. That's exciting.
And as a filmmaker, to keep control, like you told me, right when I started, distribution's been rocking this for years. What you're doing is like you don't even have a box to pick out of. So social media is the king. I advertise for free, and that's the future way to go. You know what I mean? To keep the control of your product and get it to the masses, and try to keep the costs down so it can go somewhere. And
Absolutely. Thank you. Great point. Thank you. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, good. I was actually going to kind of touch on your closeness, but we've already talked about that. So I guess there were some guests on the show. I mean, Kurt Sutter filled in as Otto, and then Marilyn Manson, who I'm a huge fan of. So I guess, what was it like working with them?
Guest stars?
Yeah, in general.
They were pretty much hated, all of them.
I was going to say, but then I couldn't, so I knew he would.
It was a tough show to come on.
Yeah.
It was a tough show to come on, for real. It was a tough show. You had to have it together to come on Sons.
People would say that.
And they had the best,
Such a tight crew.
the best material went to the guest stars. I mean, all the Alan Walker, all those people, they had the really good, juicy stuff. And so they were even more hated then.
Exactly. And they had to be nice. Because if they didn't walk on nice, these guys would just, oh, that's it. Let's torture him.
No, it was, we love, everybody loved working on Sons. Everybody wanted to be on Sons. Everybody wanted to, and we've had some very eclectic people on that show, We had Hasselhoff, and we've had some, Tom Arnold. We've had some, people come on that show.
Courtney
Love, But it was interesting for us because, while all that stuff was going on, and Chickless and me, I'm a huge Shield fan, so I had, you had Goggins and CJ's Pounder, and you had all these people come on. It was still, us going to the chapel and us doing our thing and us, having our scenes of, riding bikes and doing whatever. So when I say it was a tough show, it was just, we were really tight. Really tight. That's, when you're, and you go on other shows that I've been on, it's like, these people, like, the second they call cut, they walk away from each other. It wasn't like that with us. We would stay. We would go outside and all be hanging out. So when I say it was a tough show, I only mean that it's hard to kind of penetrate that circle when you come on.
For 7 years, from the very first day, after a 14-hour day, we would hang out in the parking lot for 3 or 4 hours. I'm talking doing push-ups, wrestling with each other, winding down, and the crew would be standing there just, what are they doing? We would play a game called sumo. So here's the sumo champion. This dude flipped me onto the ground, okay? There's a parking lot, and then Tommy Fender comes up like a, what are you doing? What are you doing? I took the weeks, I would never do it. I'm like, I don't let this guy throw me on the ground. What are you, crazy or something? So finally, I just had it out there. I threw me on the ground.
That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, questions for you three. How do you feel that the show would be different if Opie lasted longer, if she didn't die sooner?
How would the show be different if Opie didn't die?
It would have become a talk show.
I was one of those dudes because I'm such a huge fan of the show that I guess in my mind, whether it be the Hamlet thing or all that I assumed Opie was going to live and possibly kill Jax. I don't know why I thought that. I kind of felt that. I felt something. So I was one of those, the same as you guys, that like when he was gone, I was like, where's this thing going? Like it was because he was like that kind of the person who was being, the
Groomed.
Yeah, groomed and also trying to like really not be as bad as everybody else, and he had like this conscience, and so I don't know. That's an interesting fanfic story of what would have happened if he stayed. Who knows?
It's interesting when you said that. You said, I didn't know where it's going. It all started as Hamlet. That's what we all thought. And then it did become a point like no one, and I don't even think the writers knew where it was going. They like made that map out as it went.
And that made the show scary. That made it every week for the audience to go, now what? If he went, now what?
Well, Opie actually was not even supposed to make it through the first season. So, I mean, that's how things change. I mean, Opie stayed a lot more. Obviously, it would have been a different show, but
Yep. Well, thank you.
he had to go.
7 years of getting through the script.
If only you knew.
Right?
Hey, how are you?
Hi. So I heard there was going to be a Mayan spin-off. Is
Don't
that
know
actually
nothing about it.
I know everything about it.
I just wanted to know if you guys are going to be on that show.
You know everything about it?
I know everything.
Do tell.
Some things.
No.
I don't honestly. I can't. The reason I can't answer that is because spoilers. Juicy.
Somebody told me that they already started shooting.
No.
That's what I said. No. And
Yeah, I think it's.
I'll tell you this. Juice and Bobby Elvis aren't on it.
Neither is happy. And I don't think I could just name the whole crew. I don't think they're on it.
No, I mean, for me, like as a fan being gone, because I am a huge fan, obviously I want to see the prequel. I want to see like the 60s story of John Teller coming in, kind of when Jem was young. I'd love to see them do that. But the Mayans thing is so interesting to me because I would like nothing more than to see like Chibs, Happy, and Tig like roll into a scene with the Mayans or like Nero or something. Like I would love to see that as a fan. That's like, To see
Me
these
too.
guys back doing that, that's crazy. That would be insane for me to see, you know, Emilio Alvarez kind of doing his thing. So I don't know. And I know what's going on. I mean, he talks about it.
I definitely, I spoke to the people at this, it's a whole new story. Yeah, I'm excited to watch it with everyone else. It's a whole new story. I don't think it's in charming. It ain't got these guys in it. So other than that, I don't know where it's going. So I'm interested to see. I'd really like to see my buddy Emilio. He's in my movie also, Street Level. I'd like to see him, like see Alvarez again, bro. You know.
The guy, I have a movie coming out May 12th, 17 called Lowriders. And the guy who wrote Lowriders is the showrunner of The Lions. So I kind of know a little about
cool.
that. Yeah. So
Elgin James, right?
Elgin James.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I know that he's a brilliant writer, so I'm kind of excited to see how it goes and where it goes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, congratulations on Luke Cage. Yes, hi.
Hi, this question is for all of you. Do you guys remember the exact moment when you realized, oh shit, this show is bigger than we thought it would be?
That's a good
Season
one.
3.
Mine is when I know exactly that moment. It was season 1. Kind of what people don't realize, when the show premiered, it was the day that Sarah Palin said she was running for vice president. So we had 0 ratings. Like it was like under a million. Like nobody watched the show. And we were like, oh, this is cool. It won't last that long. And then the second season opened with Gemma and the white supremacy, and everyone was talking about that scene. Like, look what just happened to Peggy Bundy. Like it could happen. And it was like, I remember when that happened, I was like, this show is gonna be huge. We just had, for me, that's kind of when I saw, you know, I don't know.
It's the only television show to increase in viewership past the 3rd year. I think that isn't true anymore. Probably Walking Dead is that happened with it. But up to that point, no television show's viewership had increased after the 3rd year. And that show increased in viewership all
Every year, every episode.
Every
7 was bigger than 6.
day,
and 6 was bigger.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a big show. It was.
What DL said is so right, because here's the other thing that happened in season 3. When season 4 started, they made right the month before all 3 seasons available on Netflix. Netflix was not what it is now. It wasn't what I'm on now. It wasn't original content. It was old TV shows and movies. So when they put all 3 seasons on Netflix, all of a sudden season 4 started, and we had this entirely new audience. So it was this huge show. So season 3 really is the turning point of that show.
I said season 3 because around season 3, people started, I'm just a person, I go home to Oakland every week. People started to be like, hey, ain't you Smiley? No, it's happening.
Very close.
Wow, people started to recognize me, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Hi.
Hi. My question is for Theo. I think one of the things I really enjoyed about Juice, I mean, among all of you, obviously, but with Juice, the transition from going, he was so devoted to the club and so loyal, but at the same time, he was betraying the club. And it felt like both of those happened at the same time when you were like in the later seasons. And I just wanted to hear if there was any like process behind getting in that space. And then just kind of a follow on, do you still like cherry pie?
Never again. I don't think I've eaten it since then. I actually haven't eaten it since then. It was a Whole Foods cherry pie. I think it was like gluten-free or something. You know the truth, I was just talking to a guy outside, and he was like a super astute fan of the show, and he knew a lot. And it's funny, you can look at the show in a lot of different ways, and you can say this character did this, and this character did that. Really, at the end of the day, for me, the character I've seen, I know the best was the character I played. Juice was extremely loyal, and it proved it in the last scene. And even everything he was doing, the certain stuff that looked like betrayal, as hard and as much as we wanted to, that Kurt was playing that to people, everything he was doing was just this folly of errors. He was never intentionally doing anything. And what he wanted to do was, he tried to take himself out to not make that be the problem. And then all these other awful things just started to happen. Someone just told me recently, like, that he was killing all these people, and you don't even realize that, Juice was doing that, like strangling people with pillows and killing people in hotel rooms and all this stuff as this survival mode, and then obviously going into prison was just this nightmare of a thing. No, I gotta be honest, for me playing that character, as weird as it sounds, and a lot of people, again, I think true fans and astute fans are the ones I talk to always see it a certain way, and then the kind of fair weather fan are like, he's a rat, he's this, but if you see it from the view of what was going on and the steps that he was taking,
Loyalty.
he wasn't doing anything, he just wanted to not hurt his brothers. He didn't want to lose the club. He was his only family. If they found out about his father, so I think, as crazy as it sounds, people talk about a lot of scenes. The most powerful scene is when Jax and Chips and them find out that his father was black, and they go, "So what?" And it was like, oh my God, there could have been so many things avoided if he didn't say it.
Didn't have to kill everybody. You still
You have to kill everybody. You have to steal the coke. You have to kill Miles. And you have to do all this stuff. And what I love is when fans, because they're so passionate, come up to you and they're like, "Why didn't you just tell them?" I'm like, because then there wouldn't have been a storyline for TV show.
But it's a TV show.
So I just think that for me, it was so cool because I got to do all these things and go into these zones that was so unexpected. So I looked at it as a really almost like the greatest acting exercise to put myself into all these weird, crazy places. And but the one thing I did miss about the last few seasons was I really stopped interacting with a lot of these guys on the show. I was so used to being with them all the time. And then all of a sudden I was completely isolated. I think there was one season where I spent the whole season with just me and Clay, which nobody wants to do. But really, there was one of those where it was and then I spent the whole season with Gemma and Drea, with Wendy's character. So it was I got thrust into, I'd go to work and these guys be leaving. They'd be leaving, I'd be coming in. It was weird for a little while, but super.
That's what he's saying. We would all work together, and all of a sudden his scenes were not with us anymore. So for years we're all together, and then all of a sudden he ain't around no more. So that is true. It's a tight knit little thing. You know what I'm saying? Bro, the sickest death on TV, huh? For both of them. This guy's like, let me just finish my pie. That was tough.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Hi, you guys. Thanks for coming to our convention. It's nice to see you all. For each of you, who were your heroes? Who made you want to become actors?
Who made you want to become an actor?
Humphrey Bogart.
David, when you were brought on to consult, did you think, hey, I'm going to get in front of the camera?
Previous to this, I got discovered quickly in the restaurant. I can remember him. His name is Zalman King. Some of you people remember the Red Shoe Diaries. He taught me script writing, and he taught me the camera. I worked for that guy for 2 years in LA, and I said, oh, Hollywood's insane, and I'm going to go do what I do. So I come back and locked into the thing. The guy's in my house, and I'm all set up. And the last 5 minutes he's there, I put some magazines on and published. And I said to him, hey man, when you do the show, I'd like a shot to be on it. He's like, do you act? I'm like, every day's an act. Okay? I want a shot like everybody else. And he's like, cool, I'll give you a shot. So I went for Tig. I didn't get it. And I wrote the guy a letter, and he said, you know what? I'm going to make you, this character, happy. Happy? Don't you call me crazy or loco or psycho or something. He goes, no, your name's Happy, and you ain't happy.
That's awesome. Inspiration?
Acting was the furthest thing from my mind. I was a fan of films and television, but I literally had no ambition of acting at all, and it just kind of happened at a little bit of a later age, almost 16 years ago. So for me, then I went back. Like when I started, I always believe you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you came from. So I started at the beginning, before Chaplin, kind of when the people were running the studios and they started looking at everything, and it always came back to like 2 or 3 actors that I always found myself, like Newman
you know, and then character actors like Clare and Carl Malden and guys who were these young guys, these guys at the time who were in the films I was watching, but they were these small actors in these huge films, but they were always the best part.
Claude Rains, Carl Malden,
Yeah.
they're pretty big actors
But they were
in their day.
In their day.
In their
And
day.
but they were always behind the Bogarts and the Cary Grants and the Brandos and John Casale. So there were these actors that I just really loved watching. So I tried to kind of see the best of all they were doing and then move into that. So not really anybody wanted to make me act. I didn't even think about acting. That was like a different world. Those dudes were like totally different. Movie stars were movies, right? I think as Americans, it's in our culture. To me, I think every kid in America, whether you think you do it or not, you're like, damn, I want to be a movie star. Know what I'm saying? Like, we make movies in this country. Everybody else does, but like, we really do that here. You know what I mean? It's a cool thing.
I started watching movies, old movies when I was like 11, 12 years old. And pretty much when I was growing up, there was the old movie channel came on. There were an old movie show late every night, and that was somebody was putting those movies on in every kind of zone in America late at night. And so I love those movies, but I never thought about being an actor. Then I was going to be, I was an athlete. I was going to be a professional soccer player or whatever, which I came close to being. But and then I moved to New York, and I was going to be an artist, and people just started asking. There are a lot of people that have said to me over the course of my life, "You should be an actor." I'm like, why? I don't know. I didn't really understand that, and I mean that has been going on a long time. And then I just started. I just ran into some people who, like a guy named Tom Wright and Steve Buscemi. I worked with Steve Buscemi in New York City for a long time. We did a lot of. We just started doing theater. We just did it, and that's how it happened. Yeah.
I love Steve. Thank you for that question. We have time for one more from each side, so let's go over here.
Hey guys, this is freaking me out right now. So I have...
That hair is freaking me out.
Right? I've got a quick question for Juice and a question for Juice, Bobby, and Happy. Juice, when you were in your diaper, passed out because you drugged yourself in front of the precinct, I remember when you pulled off the cardboard, the staple wounds. I've seen a lot of wounds in the show where I can call fake blood, makeup. Those staples actually looked real when you pulled them out. Were you stapled?
I was in a diaper last night, so I'm trying to figure out where I don't know where we were. No, you know what's funny? So that scene's first season, downtown LA. The show isn't even out yet. No one knows what it is. No one cares. At the end, when we were shooting season 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, there'd be hundreds of people outside the studio. We'd go shoot on the street. There'd be thousands of people and paparazzi and all that. And season 1, the show hadn't aired. The show hadn't even aired yet. And I'm sitting there in a diaper with tattoos on my head and this cardboard that says, please adopt me. And people are like, what is going on? Did you notice that storyline never went nowhere? Did you ever notice that? Yeah, the whole thing. That was supposed to be something. He put you in another direction. Yeah, in another direction. And I remember doing that scene. You were supposed to be a drug addict. And we were supposed to catch you. The character was supposed to be a drug addict. Yeah, we were supposed to catch him. And they were supposed to catch me, and there was a million different things. Like there were these scenes where I was addicted to Jolt Comer, and I was this computer nerd who was out of his mind and taking pills, and they found me all pilled out. And that was that same episode, and the storyline never went anywhere. And I remember thinking, what are we doing here? I was like, what is going on? I'm in this diaper. I didn't know what was going on. But no, the staples were not real. Okay. Yeah. Listen, man. It's all the stunts here and there, but I ain't stapling anything to my chest. But it was people love that. I just signed a bunch of pictures of me in a diaper. People love that scene.
And not many people can say that.
Don't get up after this. I'm asking y'all to do me a favor.
Can I have a quick question for all three, if you wouldn't mind?
Yep.
If you get to sum up your character with like an item or a symbol, like I would say I'm a spicy banana, what would you guys sum up your characters as?
Took mine.
Rapturous.
A diaper?
Rapturous.
That's such a tough question.
That's a dumb question. We have to. Whoa.
He's gonna think about it.
One word.
That's better.
A symbol or a symbol and can you do a face? A symbol or a word?
I think he's thinking of it now.
I don't remember. Well, that's like a couple of years ago now. Bobby, I don't know. Bobby was underused.
I'll take it.
That's good. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I would say for Juice, I would say troubled. Troublesome.
Thank you.
Misguided trouble.
Yes. Last question over here.
Hi, my question's for Theo. I was really excited to see you on Luke Cage, and I'm sure a bunch of people were too. My question is, what was it like going from something as huge as Sons to something that's growing like the Marvel Netflix universe?
Marvel's pretty big, homeboy.
Not just the Netflix universe part of it. But also, I completely just lost my train of thought. Going from Sons to Netflix, and were there any big differences between shooting for FX and shooting for Netflix? Like, are there any really big differences?
Well, I got super lucky, to kind of go reverse on this. One of the dudes that we all know very well, who's an executive producer writer on Sons of Anarchy,
Charles
Murray, was the executive producer writer on Luke Cage. So I kind of got this awesome, feeling of being home right away with the same people. The other thing was, when we were doing Sons, it wasn't until like season 4 that we all went to Comic-Con together. Season 3 or season 4, maybe, I don't even know, that we all did Comic-Con. So we felt the Comic-Con audience, 6,000 people on a panel and doing that. And when Sons ended, it was like kind of like this living graphic novel, it felt like. Sons almost was like a comic book. It felt like, we were doing crazy stuff on the show, and it was like really bigger than the characters and bigger than whatever. It was just a huge thing. So then, when I came off that, I said, when they said, we were talking about TV shows and all that, I said, listen, man, Comic-Con, me being a comic book geek who, all I do is draw comics and read them my whole life, I said, that's the world I want to be in. And coming off something like Sons, I don't know if there's anything close to that. And it just so happened Daredevil and Jessica Jones were hitting at that time, and Luke Cage came at the perfect time in my hometown in New York City, and here we are.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, great question. Thank you. Dave, you want to say something?
You guys want to do me a favor? Can I make a little video? I'm gonna say, what film you gonna watch tonight, and what are you gonna say? Street level. Watch, you ready? What film you guys gonna watch tonight? Street level. You guys rock.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. David, Boone, Theo. Coming up.
Thank you.
We had a great time.